every single person that makes wrestlers or anything else on this platform says that it's worse than it was in WWE 2K24. I had to go on X because that's where you can find cause now and figure out why CAW creators are so frustrated, and even why people would download CAWs are frustrated. So basically, there's a lot of CAW creators in this community that make amazing custom wrestlers, and there's a ton of them. And I follow them on X because they are basically, when you follow them, they always post their new creations and they post the hashtags so you can find them, and it always keeps everything up to date. And so I also want to mention how like the first 2 weeks of the game were very discouraging from them. There was a lot of bugs, but I believe, okay, so you guys can tell me in the comments, have all these things have been patched already? Because I'm making this video after certain patches have been done to make the creation suite, or like have addressed the creation suite, like addressing like the idea of like creating custom characters and stuff. So if you guys can tell me if they fixed mostly everything, or if there's still a lot of things that need to be fixed still. I still see people that are like, okay, I just don't want to create anymore because it's just not as good. And I think a lot of that just, I don't know, obviously it comes down to polish, but I'm not a CAW creator. Okay, I consume this stuff. I download the CAWs that people create. We're all very grateful for these created wrestlers, but we can 100% understand why they don't want to create anymore. And it's kind of a problem because the community that does this is a very, very large community. And I think that 2K maybe have underestimated just how large that community is and just how much people actually care about creating CAWs. So like, you have like your online community of people that play online, people that play my faction. There's a community for creations. There's a community for creating CAWs. You'll find it mostly on social media. So and I think 2K have just underestimated the fact that there is a community there. And they were like, oh, okay. So, and then the other thing is the most recent tab being taken away. A lot of people don't like not having the most recent tab, and a lot of it, so the first theory that people were saying was because there was a lot of creations and like images being uploaded on there that weren't very good, and they were showing up in the most recent. That's what people were saying. I also think it has something to do with just how community creations runs in general. So on console, back in the day, or at least over the last couple of games, the community creations hasn't ran so great. I'm not sure if it had to do with my Wi-Fi or whatever. On PC, it always ran pretty good, but a lot of the times it would just be on an infinite loading screen and then things just wouldn't load. I don't really experience those issues anymore. And part of me thinks it's because they took away the most recent tab, and I don't have full confirmation on that, but the one thing that I will say definitely was improved was the fact that community creations actually kind of loads every single time, or at least in my experience, it has been loading every single time. I could be wrong about this. Some people might have a different experience, but community creations has loaded for me, and I don't know if it loads better because they took most recent away. I don't want to make assumptions because I'm also not a game developer, but that is why I was initially okay with them taking away that most recent tab. Although I will admit the con to it is not being able to sort through like a creator's most recent stuff that they put out. You'd have to kind of check their social media to see their most recent stuff. When I go to a specific creator that I like getting CAWs from, I like to see their most recent creations because it's the most up-to-date one. And I can't do that right now because they took away the most recent tab. So that is my biggest issue with it. But other than that, I don't really have a problem with it because of the fact that community creations loads pretty well. However, if that is a small thing where, I'm willing to pay the price for that if the creation suite was a little bit better. So like there's just a couple of things, a couple of thoughts that I had there. I know that there's been a lot of patches that have came out recently that have addressed a lot of issues, and a lot of people are saying, okay, this made a lot of the stuff better, but apparently there's also still a long way to go. So if you guys can keep everyone in the comments informed of like just what's going on exactly, what is still being broken, what is still not fixed yet, what can they do, what can they patch next. I'm not sure if 2K is going to see this video, but if they did, they could absolutely use the comment section to see if, you know, we could figure this out. I personally love, you know, getting the most recent creations from the creator and being able to find it as quick as possible, but I have no way of sorting through that now, and that's because they got rid of the most recent tab. Other than that, community creations loads pretty good, but a lot of game crashes have came out as a result of, you know, being able to do certain things. I think a lot of the patches break certain things that weren't broken before, and then it fixes things, but it also breaks things. So just let me know exactly what they need to fix in the comments here, because there's just so much, you know, surrounding this, because this community of creators is bigger than I think they initially thought, and it is important that the creations and stuff actually works, because I'll admit, like, I like playing with created wrestlers because you know, sometimes I find it hard to come back to the game at certain points, but created wrestlers definitely helps me with that. So I'm sure a lot of people might agree with that. Thank you all for watching this video. This is just me talking about the creation suite a little bit. Hopefully you guys were in agreement here. If not, you can also, you know, type in the comments. We are very, very much going to be interacting with people. I'll be looking at the comments and seeing what people are saying. So thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.